Okay, I'm going to show you how to do some stretches for the legs and hip area. Basically, it should help you to stretch pretty much every muscle from your hips down. These stretches are done both static as well as dynamically and through PNF. I'm not going to tell you what those letters stand for because every time I try to pronounce it I get tongue twisted, so you can look it up for yourself. Okay, we'll start with the calf muscles. Usually they are the tightest in the legs, and in order to get a good stretch in the hamstrings, we're going to loosen up the calf muscles first, which are the muscles in the back of the lower part of the leg. So we're going to start by placing one leg in front of us, twisting the hips so that they face to the front, lifting the toes as high as you can so you feel tension in the calf muscles, and bending forward at the hips alone. Don't try to bend in the back. Don't let your back bend forward. Keep your back straight, chin up, and bend forward at the hips. If you like, you can extend the distance to a wider stance. Lift the toes, twist the hips so that they're facing to the foot that's in front, and bend forward at the hips, keeping the chin up. You can also do this with the chair. Doing this on a chair or on a step, anything that will get you a little bit off above the floor level so you can drop your heel below would be great. And with this as well, we can do the PNF exercises. So we're going to drop the heel as low as possible, keeping this leg completely straight. And after about 8 to 10 seconds, you press with between 30 to 50% force on these calf muscles, which is basically trying to lift the heel up. After about 10 seconds, release and let the foot drop again as low as possible, keeping this leg straight. After about 10 seconds, do it again. Tighten the muscles, trying to lift your heel up for about 10 seconds, and again drop it, keeping the leg straight and the heel as low as possible for another 10 seconds. You can do this between 3 to 5 times, 3 to 5 repetitions, depending on how long you have to stretch. Again, of course, doing the other leg as well. Okay, now for the hamstring muscles, which are the muscles in the back of the upper part of the legs. You can do this standing up, bending forward only at the hips, keeping your chin up, bend forward, and try to touch the floor with your fingers or with the palms of your hands. If you want, you can even grab your legs and pull yourself down further. You can do PNF with this stretch as well. We just need to add resistance to these muscles, trying to basically close the legs. So as we're bent over, press back, try to press back with your heels. For about 8 to 10 seconds, release, and try to pull yourself down further. Again, 3 to 5 repetitions as time allows. If you want, you can do this exercise sitting down. And instead of trying to stretch both legs at the same time, you can stretch one leg at a time, which I would suggest because it gets you a better stretch in whatever area you're trying to stretch. So we're going to bring one leg inside, keeping this foot pointed up, and we're going to bend forward again, only at the hips. Keeping this leg completely straight, we're going to bend forward. You don't want to pull your toes back. If you pull your toes back, the calf muscles will stretch more. We want to stretch now the hamstrings, so we're going to keep these toes pointed up. If you cannot reach your foot, you can grab your leg and pull yourself down for a better stretch. If you can reach your foot, your heel, great, you can pull yourself down. After about 10, 15, 20 seconds, we can do PNF. So pushing back with the heel against the floor. Try not to let your knee bend. Press back, which activates the hamstring muscles. Press back with the heel against the floor. And do so with about 30 to 50% force. Doesn't have to be very strong. After about 10 seconds, release, pull yourself down further. Again, 3 to 5 repetitions. Switch the other foot. Keep the leg straight, point it up. Toes pointed straight up, not back. Bending forward at the hips. You can grab your leg and pull down. You can grab your foot and pull down. After 15 to 20 seconds the first time, press back down with the heel. 10 seconds. Release. Pull down again. 3 to 5 times. Alright, for the butt muscles, the buttocks, we're going to lay down. Knees bent. We're going to cross one leg over the other at about where the ankle is. We're going to reach through between our legs with one hand and from the outside with the other. Grab the knee and bend forward. You can bend, try to bring your chest to your leg and try to bring your leg to your chest. You don't want to curl your back. You want to keep your back straight. And for PNF, we're going to try to pull this knee down. Okay? So, 8 to 10 seconds, pulling down. And pull forward to the chest once again. Switching leg, same. One knee bent, crossing the other leg over about the area of the ankle. Putting the arms through, grabbing the leg, and pull your leg to your chest. Again, press back for 8 to 10 seconds. Release, and pull forward again. You can also perform this same stretch sitting down, in case you do not want to lie on the floor. You can sit and place one leg over the other, of course about where the ankle is. Keeping this knee down, you're going to keep your back straight, bend forward at the hips until your chest can reach your leg. For PNF, we're just going to press down, pull down. We're trying to pull this knee down with our leg for about 8 to 10 seconds. Release and bend forward again. And of course the same with the other leg. Back straight, bend at the hips. Again, 3 to 5 times. Okay, the muscles on the inner thighs, which are mainly worked on to perform the splits. Attempting to do the splits will, of course, help stretch these muscles. So, stretch your legs out, keeping the legs straight, bending forward at the hips, touching the floor, and if you can, wiggle your feet out so you can feel more of a stretch here. If you still don't feel the stretch so much, pull your feet out even more. Once you start feeling a good stretch, bend forward more and you'll feel more pressure on the inner thighs. For PNF, you're going to, of course, try to squeeze your legs together. For we're doing 8 to 10 seconds. Release, wiggle your feet out a little bit more, and bend forward more. You can also stretch these muscles in a different way. We're going to crouch on our toes, on the balls of the feet. Place one leg out to the side on the heel. You can stretch it out. whatever is comfortable for you for the stretch. Place this arm inside of the knee so you can press it out with your elbow, and bend forward about 45 degrees at your hips, keeping the chin up. For PNF, try to squeeze this leg to the inside and keeping it pressed out with your hand for about 8 to 10 seconds. Release, push this knee out more and bend forward more. If you can go even further, stretch the leg out more and press the other knee away. You can repeat that, of course, 3 to 5 times as time allows. Okay, to stretch this area here in the inside of the groin, we're going to get into a very low stance. We're going to have one leg perpendicular to the floor, up to the knee, and the other leg is going to be straight on the balls of the foot, not at an angle. We want the calf up in the air, and we're going to try to bring the chest down to the floor, which at the beginning may seem impossible, but it can be done. Going down, hands here to support yourself. The outside leg is going to be beside you, and you're going to try to drop your chest to the floor, keeping this back leg straight and this leg perpendicular to the floor. In order to do PNF, we're going to try to, again, squeeze the legs together for 8 to 10 seconds and drop again for another 10 seconds. And, of course, to the other side, dropping down. Squeeze for 8 to 10 seconds. And release. The same exercise can also be performed somewhat standing up. Let's see how I want to be from here. These are, I guess, German splits. I'll be from here. On the balls of the back foot and the heel on the front foot. You don't want to turn your hips at an angle. You want your hips to be straight. And when you get to good distance, straighten both legs. Keeping your balance with your hands on the sides. For PNF, we're going to, of course, try to squeeze the legs, this leg to the rear and the other leg to the front. And release for another 8 to 10 seconds. And of course, to the other side. You will see with many of these various stretches, you will feel a stretch in other muscles as well. These are not solely for specific muscles. They stretch many muscles sometimes, all together. Try to squeeze the legs together and release. Keeping the back leg straight, the front leg straight, of course. Okay, for the quads, these are the muscles in the front of the upper legs. You can do this standing up. If you need to hold on to something, a wall, a chair, whatever, we're going to stand on one leg, raise the other leg up, and we're going to keep this knee not up, but down to the inside. If you lift the leg up, you will not feel a stretch so much here in the quads. You'll feel it more in the groin area. So keeping this knee down, we're going to pull the leg back, push the hips forward, and try to pull this leg up to the rear. I'll do it from the side so you can see. Keeping the knee in, pull the leg back, keep the back straight. You can push the hips forward. The more you push the hips forward, the more tension you'll pull on the quads. and try to pull this leg up. For PNF, we're going to try to pull this foot down. You, of course, are going to prevent that with your hand here holding it. So, trying to pull the foot down for 8 to 10 seconds. Release and pull back up. 3 to 5 times. Tension and release. You can hold your leg with both hands if you want. We can also do this kneeling. One foot in front is going to be perpendicular to the floor. The other leg, the knee is going to be on the floor. We want to stretch out a bit so this leg is at an angle. Unless you're quite tight, then you may want the leg to be straight up and down. Or if you're quite flexible, you may want to be very stretched out. In any case, we're going to grab this foot and pull it up. Again, of course, using PNF the same way, trying to drop this foot down, but preventing with the hand. And again, raising back up. We can also do this exercise, something similar, lying down or sitting down. We'll have one leg out in front of us. The other leg we're going to bring to the rear. We're going to have 90 degrees here between one leg and the other. This leg is going to be about between 45 to 90 degrees. And we're going to lean back away from the leg onto the elbow. And you can also, of course, lie down if you can, which should stretch all through here. And for PNF, again pressing, trying to straighten the leg out and release it. Doing the same for the other leg, keeping this leg straight. This leg 90 degrees. And about 45 degrees here. Leaning back. If you need, you can also hold this foot for PNF. Press for 8 to 10 seconds. Release and try to lower your body further to the ground. Okay, for the sides of the thighs and for the sides of the hips, we're going to cross one foot over the other and press the hips out to the same direction. You can, of course, try to straighten your body, pressing with this leg, whichever leg it happens to be. For PNF, holding it for about 10 seconds and releasing. Also from here you can rock a bit back and forward and you'll feel the hip joint pulling in slightly different areas. Crossing over to the other side, push the hips out to the same direction and bending in the opposite direction. Rocking a bit. After about 20 seconds for the first time, try to straighten your leg out for about 10 seconds and release again 35 times. We can also do this lying down. From here we're going to cross one leg over the other. Our arms are going to be out to the sides. You want to keep this shoulder on the floor and this knee on the floor. This leg is going to be at a 90 degree to the body and the foot 90 degrees to the upper leg. So from here, if this knee rises up, it's easier to press on this leg than it is to press on this shoulder. So keep this shoulder on the floor and press this leg down. To the other side. Lying straight, cross one leg over. Keep the arms straight, the shoulder on the opposite shoulder on the floor, and pressing down this knee. Okay. Okay, also for the inner thighs, as well as for the hips, we're going to sit and bring both feet in, sole on sole, and if you can, get your knees to drop all the way down to the floor. If you can't manage, we can do the stretch from here, it's fine. I'm sure you're probably already feeling it. You can of course keep your back straight, bending at the hips, pull yourself forward with your feet, keeping your chin up, and back up. If you would like, you can also press on your legs with your elbows while holding onto your feet. You can press so they can get closer to the floor. Again, you can keep your chin up, bend forward at the hips, back straight. For PNF, press upwards with your legs trying to close them, like this, but keeping them down on the floor with your elbows. For about 10 seconds, release, and drop them. Chin up, bend forward a little bit. With this exercise, you can of course go all the way so that your chest is on your feet. Another exercise, another stretch for the hips. We're going to sit down with one leg in front, the other leg bent backwards. The foot would be fairly close to the leg. And try to get your hip down so that your right, or whichever side it would be, your buttock would actually touch the floor. If it is already on the floor, great. If it's not, if it's somewhat in the air, press down. For more of a stretch, bring this leg out more. And again, your hip may now have risen up higher. Press the hips down. And of course you can stretch the foot out even more and pressing with the hips. This is to give more of a rotation to the sides in your leg. If your leg does not go very far off to the side, you need to stretch more in the hip. Okay, you can of course do the same to the other side. Foot is close, press down. Bring the leg out further. You can of course do these stretches to any time you like. You can do them for a full minute. Usually it's not done so long because it takes a long time. There are a lot of different muscle groups. But whatever time you feel comfortable with, I would suggest no less than 10 seconds for each set, for each repetition. Stretch the foot out even more. And another stretch for the hips. On your hands and knees, we're going to stretch up the knees out to the sides. And your legs, the back will be about 90 degrees between the thigh and the leg. And try to sit back. Keep your hands in front of you for support. If you can, stretch your knees out more. And try to sit back again. For as long as you want, for as many repetitions as you want. Okay, after static stretching with PNF, I would suggest also doing dynamic stretches, which may actually stretch your muscles even further than you were doing when you were doing static stretches, and also gives you more range of movement. So first we're going to start with our feet about shoulder width apart, one leg back, straight, and the leg in front is going to be bent. Okay? From here we're going to lift the back leg up, keeping the knee completely straight. It should not bend at all on its way up. We're going to lift the leg up and back down to where it was. Each time you raise the leg, you want it to go up a little bit higher. Again, keeping the leg completely straight. You don't want it to bend on the way up because it does not stretch the muscles that need to be stretched when you do so. Okay, we're going to switch feet. Again, legs about shoulder width apart. Front leg is bent, back leg is straight. Lift the back leg up straight and back down. You can do these about 10, 20 times, however many you like. 10 to 20 is normal. We're going to lift the leg now up to the side. We're going to keep the feet straight forward, not tilted out to the sides, so straight forward. And we're going to lift the leg straight up. We're going to tilt slightly off to the side with our upper body, and then bring the leg up. Again, you want to raise the height every time you lift the leg, and keeping the legs completely straight. You don't want to be bending the legs. Okay? Leg straight. Bring it up. Of course, over to the other side. Keeping the leg straight. Try to come up higher every time you bring it. Okay? Now to the rear. We're going to do the same thing, except this time the leg is going to bend. You can't help it. That's just the way people are made. Your leg is going to bend slightly when you raise the leg up. But you still want to bring the leg up as straight as possible, as high as possible. Keep the leg in close to the other leg. You don't want the leg to come out away from you, off to the side. You want to keep the leg in straight so that the toes stay pointed down. If the toes are pointing off to the sides, they're stretching different muscles, which are basically these that we've already done. So there's no reason to do them again. Keep the toes and the knee pointed down by keeping the legs closed together. And bring the leg up as straight and as high as possible. Again, try to get higher and higher each time, and the other leg as well. If you want, of course, you can hold on to something to give you more stability. We can also mix. We can mix these stretches as well. Holding on to something gives you more stability. We're going to bring this leg up straight to the side and to the side in the other direction. So just swinging the leg back and forth actually gives you more speed and more height, which is, of course, is more of a stretch. So of course, doing both sides, the back foot is going to be about 45 degrees so that the front leg can come straight and off to the side. Okay? You can do the same as well, front to rear. So that's basically it for these stretching exercises from the hips down. There are many other variations that will stretch different groupings of muscles in the legs and hips. These are the ones that I like, that I do, and have fun.